Hello everybody, welcome to Creative Exploration for this week. So this week I'm going to be doing a thistle. This is my little reference photo I'm going to use off the internet. That is off of unsplash.com. It is a royalty-free photography website. So whenever you're using a reference, make sure you're using something that's royalty-free so you don't have a photographer hunting you down, suing you for selling their artwork. Anyways, that's just my little thing. Yeah, so we're gonna create a nice big thistle on here. I had a request on Instagram to do a thistle, so here I am. Always feel free to reach out and request any particular flowers or things that you want. So I'm just doing just kind of a basic outline shape here. And they're pretty spiky, so we're gonna keep it really loose around the outside. And drag it down. So I'm gonna use undersea green. Just kind of get a base color down here. Are these like a cactus? I don't know. I don't know things about flowers, I just paint them. Okay. That's interesting. I'm gonna darken up that bottom with some Purlane green. Don't be afraid to go dark. Always don't be afraid to go dark. I'm just gonna pull that up. Spike it up. They're spiky boys. A little bit fatter through here, actually. Cool. And then we're going to take some pink. This is a mixture of quinacridone opera with a little bit of burnt orange. Again, a little darker towards the base. Don't be afraid to let it mix. Just a little bit, maybe not too overly, because you might get some gross looking colors, but we're just gonna keep it dynamic for now. Now I kind of want to warm up this centerpiece, so I'm gonna do a little bit of burnt orange with the undersea green and get a nice sort of rich brown in here too. Browny green. Just at the base. And we'll get greener as we go up. I think I want the pink to poof out a little more too. Hope you don't mind my sound effects. I don't know why I do that sometimes. It's bizarre. Can't help it. Won't change it. And of course, splishy splash. Gotta get some splishy splash in there. And maybe just a little bit darker, a little bit more vibrant at the base. Watercolors, sometimes it can be intimidating to build up the colors, but I find the key is to use a tip brush, load it up, and then dab it so that it's just releasing the color into there. Because if you swish it, you're pushing the paint instead of just letting it release. Hopefully that makes sense. And more splishy splash. I'm just gonna darken up this base with some perylene green. Even more. And I know I probably sound like a broken record, but don't be afraid to go dark in some areas. It's very important to a composition that you do so, because it is what will allow your pieces to look more realistic and less like pastel-y. Pastels are nice, but they don't have a wow factor to them, you know, like not as much. I'm just gonna use a slightly larger brush and get those little sort of wispy, this is undersea green. I'm just dabbing throughout. And as I've taught in previous lessons for the leaves, you just a little bit of perylene green through there again. As I've taught in previous lessons, make sure that you, when you're doing leaves, you're pulling and then push and release. Now this is just falling a little flat for me. So, how am I gonna spice this up? I think maybe we need another one. Yeah, let's add another one over here behind it. Oop, hello. Let's just, you know, their branches are kind of spiky, even branches. So this is the stem. Pull up another one right through it. Spike, 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 spike. Bulbously. This should come down a little more. Right at the bottom and right at the tip. We'll go through with the dry brush and we'll just move it out. Spike her out. Spike, 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 spike. They're just so cute. I don't know. I know they're like so spiky and stabby and they always get stuck on your dogs, but I just kind of love them. Oh yeah. Yeah, that hot pink. Give me that hot pink. There we go. Oh, it's so cute. Oh my God. Now we're gonna throw in some big drops and maybe clean up the background just a little bit. So I'm just adding some water to kind of dilute some of the drops that I'm feeling overwhelmed by. And it can give a little bit more character to your background. I don't tend to do backgrounds because I find them distracting, but a single tone background is always nice. Or like something faded, especially if you got something wild like these guys, like you don't want to go too crazy. And I am gonna do a pen overlay on this as well. Just a couple little drops up here. And maybe even some, this is Quin Gold. I'll mix it in just a touch with this dark orangey pink we've been working with, just to contrast it a little bit. Nothing wrong with a little bit of contrast. Maybe I'll throw some in there for some highlighting. Hell, we'll even bring it up through here. Sure, why not? Kind of gives it some dynamic look. Very cool. Okay, I'm gonna leave that for a little bit, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna detail it. It's gonna look really funky and fun. Okay, this is pretty close to being dry. I just wanted to expand out on the flower part of it a little bit more, because I feel like maybe it's just not quite wide enough. It feels awkward right now. So I'm just gonna kind of expand out on these a little bit here. I feel like they go out further on normal ones. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just the messenger of the colors. You guys are like, great, I bought this course. This lady doesn't know what she's doing. Do any of us know what we're doing? I don't know. I'm just making it up as I go. And hoping that you enjoy it. Yeah, that's feeling a little better, hey? I hope you agree. Just gonna add some yellow. Whoops. Yeah, that looks better. I don't know, there was something weird going on. They were just a little bulbous. I'm kind of liking what's going on right here. That's really pretty. And the nice thing about it being like half dry is you can go in and kind of carve it out. How do I explain this? The wet spots are a little more, like they're like half wet, so you can still move it around, but it's not quite so shape. I also looked at a reference picture and the leaves are just a little bit less perfect. So we're just gonna go in and we're gonna make them spiky too. These guys are just all over the place. Crazy flowers. So you get to watch me alter. And that happens lots. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing and then I look at a reference photo and I'm like, oh, that's what that actually is supposed to look like. That's cool. Well, let's just completely change this then. I get an idea in my head and change it a bunch of times. It's fine. It's fine. That's what art's all about. You have to be willing to just go with the flow sometimes. Yes. I like it. just deliberating here on what further to do. And I don't see anything else that I really want to do at this moment until I go in with some pen. Perhaps, oopsies, too far. There we go. Perhaps I will do a little bit of maybe a dark purple. I'm going to take my script liner and just right through here. Make sure that we've got a healthy amount of shadows in all sort of areas of this guy. I love script liners. I don't have a very steady hand, so I'm not very good at doing detailed work. And they're awesome for keeping it loose. Yeah. Okay. That suits me. All right. I'm gonna let that layer dry again now. Deepen up shadows down here. Sounds like Costco's getting angry again. Costco right outside my window, and I swear I get so much drama. It's wild. Too detailed here because I'm starting to get to that point. There we go. Perfect. All right, now that this is all nice and dry, I'm going to go over it with some ink. So I'm going to start with my black, and I'm going to work from the dark areas out to the light spots with more black lines around the darker sort of areas, and less so as I get more up to the brighter colors. This is just to add just a little bit of like a definitive line work, more artistic sort of feel to it. This is obviously optional. You can do whatever the heck you want with your own piece, but personally this is just how I like to style. That's not kid in the background. I will be back. Okay, child has been successfully distracted with Toy Story so that I can finish this. So anyways, I'm just going through, just kind of carefully selecting where I want to put some line work, keeping to the shadows a little bit more. This is just simply to give it some definition and not necessarily to outline it or anything like that. This is just a good old basic Sharpie. And it allows you to kind of work into those spots that maybe you feel like aren't as defined as you might have liked. working very quickly. Nothing too precise. Very sketchy. And if you don't get this kind of style right away, it does take some practice. So get a sketchbook, start sketching stuff that you see around town. It's called loose sketching. There's lots of other artists out there on YouTube and things like that that also do tutorials on how to do loose sketches. And I plan to also do, at one point, just specifically about loose sketching. Perhaps when we get nicer out, I might do something actually outside. Cool. Now I'm gonna go in with my white, very, very subtle, only really in the light spots. Very subtle. And only where really highlights might hit. My typical black dots that I like to add in. This is a jelly roll number 10. It tends to look better over darker areas. And it's just to emphasize certain spots. It's used very, very sparingly. And then gold, used even more sparingly to just bring out those few little spots where you really want to emphasize. And I usually like to kind of do all my line work right around the same sort of spots, because then it's not overwhelming the whole piece, but it's still there, you know what I mean? If you feel like the white is too overwhelmed, you can also go over it again with watercolor once the pen is dry as well. I'm fairly happy with how that turned out, so I think I'm going to sign it. Always sign your work so people know who made it. Make sure your pen works before you try to sign. And that is my thistle branch for today. I hope you enjoyed learning from me.